Hello, Joanne.
Hello, Papa Soup.
Mama Soup.
Papa.
Mama. What are we talking about today, Mama Soup?
Let's talk about how we blended our family.
Ooh, good subject.
So
Good
exciting.
subject. Okay.
So I think first of all, we have to start by telling people that we met on a dating site.
Yeah, a little backstory going here.
Like fucking back when the days when I had to unplug my phone and plug the computer into the phone line so that I could get on the internet. And the site was called dating.com. And that was like the only dating website back then.
It really was the pioneer of dating on the internet.
Yeah, I was a single mom working full time and I had no time to go to bars. I don't even know where people meet people anymore.
See, and I was the opposite. I was a single guy with no kids who was tired of the bar scene because it never worked for me.
Yeah.
And it was an opportunity. I was into tech back then. That was my work. So I thought I'd try it. And you know what? We both joined up and started surfing for that perfect someone.
Yes. And let it be known that I approached you first.
Yes, you did.
After
some time. We both had some time on that app for a while before we met each other.
I went on dates.
Me
and
too.
I was like, I had checklists, man. I was
No, I didn't. Let me correct. I didn't go on dates. I set up dates and I got stood up every time I set up a date. So I had little faith that you were going to show up when we finally said, yeah, let's meet. So this is why I chose a place where I knew my friends would be on a Friday night. Just so when you didn't show up, I could still have a good time. So
yeah, that was a fun date.
Yeah.
But so after we met online and we decided, we moved pretty quickly. Like, I mean, I think we first started talking in April and by September we were renting our first house together.
Yeah, well, we had chemistry for sure.
Oh yeah.
You were nothing like the women I had met on dating.com. Like I said, I think a lot of those people, and I think people today have pretty much a split personality when it comes to online dating, is you've got a persona that you put out there of who you would like to be for somebody else. And then you have to live up to that, through the dating process. And fuck, why would you make it so hard for yourself? And I think one of the keys for me was I got tired of it. I got tired of trying to be something for somebody else. And I was at the point where, like, this is me. And if you don't like who I am, I don't give a fuck. Right.
Oh,
I mean, I can't speak for you,
sorry. The contractors are here. Just let me pause this. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. We work from home and we have things going on here. So anyhow, we met in April and we were already living together as a family by September.
Right. So yeah, to say it whirlwind, sure. But the way I look at it, it was meant to be. So why waste time? Just jump right in.
I don't remember you feeling that way when I talked about moving in together. I feel like we had an argument about it.
No, you had an argument about it. You said that maybe you loved me too much. I don't know what that
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I said, I love you. And you said, well, maybe you love me too much. Eric.
I think you did. I still think you do. Get your hooks out of me. Let me go for a bit. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Anyhow, so that was the start of us blending our family. We kind of just like threw ourselves into it.
When I met Joanne at her home for the first time, I drove my nice little 2-seater sports car up there. I had an RX-7 at the time because I was single and young.
Oh my God, that's so
happy. Cute. And I showed up at her parents' house in Newmarket, with the house that initially we ended up buying, actually, a few years down the road. But I showed up in my RX-7, and the first person I ran into was Shelly, your sister-in-law at the time. She was on your brother's boat, which was in the driveway of your parents' house. And she had a big smile ear to ear because, as I understand it after the fact, Shelly actually set you up on dating.com to try and get you hooked up. So Shelly had some good characteristics. If it wasn't for Shelly, we would never have met.
No, so. Shelly.
Anyway, so I saw her, talk to her, and then Brandon, your little boy, 6 years old, he just turned 6, came running out to me in the driveway, and his first words to me were, looking up, boy, you're tall.
Well, you can't, yeah, but you were taller than that then.
I was larger than life to him, I think. So anyway, that's when I met your son for the first time. And then I met your daughter shortly after that. And now they are, well, now they are my son and daughter. So
yeah.
And you couldn't have asked for better kids. Like, yeah, challenging. Sure. Every child is challenging to a certain degree, some more than others, but I mean, it doesn't change how you feel about them or love them. I loved your kids from the moment I met them, and I knew they would be my kids at one time. You know, given your situation as well, with your ex being quite distant and, you know, not really involved in the kids. Distant. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm just taking this out of the dog's mouth.
Oh, thank you.
Good boy.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, pejoratively speaking, he was distant, right? Mm-hmm. He just wasn't involved with the kids much and stuff. And I jumped in and really just kind of accepted you for who you were. The thing I loved about you is you were very open at the beginning before we even dated. I'm a mom, I've got 2 kids, deal with it, basically.
If you didn't want to deal with it, what's the point of being together?
What's the point of being together? So you were cute enough and nice enough, and you intrigued me enough with your words that I thought, yeah, this is
my. That's bullshit. I had a push-up bra on.
You had a smoking hot body. Yeah. Ended up making out on our second date. I liked that. It was great.
So
anyway, blended families, yeah. So
yeah,
that was the start. That was the start of our.
Take a minute, or are you okay?
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
So, for us, the connection was pretty instant and intense, and I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's just, it just worked.
It worked. We were copacetic. We were symbiotic. We gelled. Right.
Yeah.
I accepted you from the beginning for who you were, and you accepted me for who I was. You didn't like the fact that I was a workaholic when you met me. I didn't have anything else in my life. I had 2 cats, my own place, and I worked fucking 18 hours a day. Right. Mm-hmm. So getting me out of that was key for you to get me into the family role thing. Gotta admit, I was a little scared, but I let you control the kids to start off until I learned how to deal with the kids from a parent point of view. Never been a parent.
Yeah, and that's not fair too. I think if I was to go back and do that again, I probably would have maybe prepared you a little more.
I don't know how you could have. I think you did a great job doing that. I was already an uncle. I had Saida was about 7 or 8 years old at the time. She was a little older than Emma. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I had babysat her. I had dealt with her as well, but not to the extent of, you know, being live-in and all of a sudden being a father figure in the house kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I had a friend of mine that I used to work with a long time ago who ended up she had 3 kids, and she ended up getting divorced from her husband for reasons I don't know, but she ended up getting involved with another guy, and her daughter hated this new guy. Didn't want anything to do with it, was pissed at mom because she left dad. And so she reached out to me and asked me, because I was very social about our interactions on Facebook, joined Facebook in 2007 or something. And I talked a lot about my family at work, and she was a coworker. So she asked me, she said, how did you do it? How did you blend your family so seamlessly, it seems? And I said, it wasn't seamless. I said,
no.
I had my issues, I said, but I'll be granted, I did not have the problem that she had. I didn't have a problem that one of your kids fucking hated me. And I mean, hate's a strong word. She used it, I didn't, because her daughter wanted nothing to do with her new guy. And she asked me for advice. And I said, I don't know what specific advice to give you. I said, it's not easy. I said, her daughter at the time, I think, was 11. And
that's the difference.
Sure, like Emma is 7, 8, mm-hmm. And this girl was 11, and she was angry. And I told her, I said, she's allowed to be angry. She is allowed. You've disrupted your family life, which she was a part of. That was a part of her life up until she was 11. Now he's not.
The other thing is too, like my kids, before they became our kids, did not have a strong father figure. They had a father who was
they had a sperm donor. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything kind about the eggs. So
no, they had someone that was their dad, but like Emma was craving for a better relationship with a father. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And I was grateful that I could provide that for her. I mean, you know, I spent my life with Emma and Brandon trying to be a father figure for them, the one that was missing from their lives. And my only regret is that I wasn't there sooner in their lives.
Oh, well, timing, you know.
I know it's something I can't change. Again, I mean, I can call it a regret. It was just the timing. But, you know, I've had both of those guys tell me what a good father figure I was for them.
You are. They both call you dad.
Yes, and that's a big deal for me. And one other thing about a blended family is, for me, it was important that I did not force myself upon your kids.
No.
I let them control the feelings. I let them control our environment to a certain degree. I still managed to be a parent. Like, you can't eat cake for breakfast and that kind of shit. But you know, I never stopped them from going to see their dad. I tried to not badmouth their dad in front of them. But my heart broke every time they sat outside waiting for their dad to show up, and he never did. And I had to deal with that, right?
Oh no. And you did a way better job at not bad-mouthing him in front of them than I did, and I'm not proud of that. You're
not proud of it. You have a lot of anger and resentment, and you're rightfully so, because
not anymore.
No, you've let it go, and you've accepted that was a part in your life, and that's fantastic. Having the power to do that within yourself, to let go of pain and hate that doesn't do you any good anymore.
No.
You got to cut that shit loose. Life is way too short to hate for so long. You can hate him all you want for the time that you did, but you know it's not going to resolve anything. It's not going to bring good to anything. It's not certainly isn't going to change the way he is. And I was proud of you the day that you had that epiphany and said, just let that fucking go and move forward.
It was literally, that's my best advice that I could give to anybody who's going through a divorce or who is dealing with co-parenting and they don't. Look, the person that you think that you marry is or fall in love with is never the same person that you divorce.
People say that for sure. It's no, like, for sure with divorce, yes, it's not the same person. It's very rare that you have a situation where both of you are like, yeah, okay, it's time to split.
Yeah,
right? No. And you're okay with it, and you stay friends afterwards. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. But letting go of the anger was one of my biggest epiphanies as a parent. It was like, oh,
absolutely.
I felt so much better afterwards. And then now every time, because even though the kids are, you know, almost, 27 and 29 now, even though we still have to deal with their dad once in a while. He's not invited to Emma's wedding, which is interesting.
Things are, I mean, he showed up at Emma's that Christmas concert or whatever we had.
It was a ballet concert or something like that.
Some kind of dance recital or something at Seneca College. And I'll never forget that he showed up in his leathers on his Harley and with a big smile on his face and his sunglasses. And all I remember is Emma ran to me and hugged me when she saw him. And I'll never forget that day. I will never forget that day. She didn't know what to do because she didn't have a relationship with him. Right. And, you know, I remember him saying stuff when she came home from his weekends, saying stuff that, oh, wow, you really are your mother's daughter. And she completely reminded him of you and the stuff that he didn't like about you.
Yeah.
And how can a guy ever have a solid relationship with their daughter when that's at the core of how they feel about them, right? That's the constant reminder. You got to get over that shit. Blended family, not easy by any means. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, that like the trouble it can be, but I would wish it on somebody for the love that you end up getting from that family.
Oh, that's so cute.
You know, it really is worth it. And that's what did it for me. These kids, I know they love me. We've had our moments, just like every parent should. They are my kids. In my heart, they are my kids. I didn't put it on paper. I didn't adopt them formally. I offered to. The problem I had, though, and it wasn't a problem. Like I started this conversation like fucking 10 minutes ago on this, and I'm just getting back to it now. The important thing for me when dealing with your kids was they were calling me at the time mixes of stuff. Eric, Dad, Daddy, Eric. And I said, you know what, guys? I took them both aside separately saying, I don't care what you call me. You can call me Dad. You can call me Eric. I'm not offended by any either or if you don't call me one or the other. I said, but all I ask is that you pick one and use that.
Why did that matter to you?
I you know what? At this point in my life, I don't know why it mattered, but back then it did. It's like I didn't want to be a catalyst between them and their father, right?
Yeah.
I told them, I said, it's okay if you don't call me Dad, right? I know.
So you were giving them an out so that they could have.
I was trying to rationalize with children. I had little experience with kids, right? Knowing what I know now, I probably would have approached it differently.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, I didn't know. I thought, oh, they're two reasonable people. I was talking to them like they're grown-ups. And on that note, Emma always told me that the biggest thing about me that she loved was that I spoke to her like an adult, always. And she said she loved that. I listened to her. I listened to her view of stuff. And she said it was amazing that I did that for her. I'll never forget that. That's just who I am, right? I didn't talk down to her. I didn't think, oh, you're just this, naive little girl that doesn't know anything. I treated her with respect. And that went all the way up through her teens, through the wonderful 14-year-old. Emma changed on her birthday. On the day she turned 14, we became public enemy number one for some reason. It was crazy. I've heard other people say the same story. Come home from work one day and all of a sudden you're walking on eggshells at home because your kid's fucking angry with you for some reason. And you can't understand why.
We're totally going to have to do a recording about that, about teenagers. Sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's another topic. Oh my God. We'll do that one next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, blending again, not easy and worth every penny in my instance for any pain that I felt. And my pain was minimal because your kids were great. You did a great job raising them. They were fucking in good shape when I showed up. They could have been a lot worse. No, seriously. I mean, how many stories did we hear about, parents that have nightmare kids going through a divorce, that are acting out, getting in fights at school, taking out their anger and aggression on other kids, we never had that problem.
No, my kids were really, really lucky because of my parents.
I was going to say, you had a good support network.
And my brother. Yeah,
and your brother, because he had his family, they were all the same, their cousins were the same ages.
Yeah.
And that really, really helped, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So what was the surprising, was there anything like that stood out for you that was sort of surprisingly easy when it came to just jumping into a dad role?
Yeah, it was surprisingly easy how I had built it up to be this big, difficult thing.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't. Everything just kind of fell into place. If your heart's in the right place and you truly love your spouse, I loved you more than anything, and I still do. And I would have taken your kids any which way but loose, right? Kind of thing. And I did. It's unconditional. They're part of the deal. If I want to be with you, and I did, they were part of the deal. So I had to put my big boy pants on and start, being a parent and trying to do the best job I could to help support you and them. And then that's all she wrote, really.
I feel so bad for families who are struggling. Like, we were lucky in that you didn't have kids. So really, when we call it blended, it's just blending you with my kids.
True. We're not a Partridge family or a fucking Brady Bunch kind of family, right?
No.
So that would have its own challenges. I mean, now you've got kids that have to integrate with each other. You've got parents that have to integrate, and then parents that have to control all the kids, and guaranteed kids aren't going to get along at some point and stuff. Your kids always got along. Your kids love each other. I still think they do to this day, deep down. And that has a lot to say about you and how you raised them. You involved them in everything. You took them places, you did stuff that was fantastic. Setting a base like that for your family when you're a single mom, not an easy task to do, but you did it, and it was great. And that, at its core, helped those kids develop into the people they are today. Oh. My coming along just augmented your parenting, and I learned how to parent, and then we decided to have our own kids. So
the only reason that I agreed to have one more kid was because you deserve to be a dad.
I remember the day you told me that. You said, I want to have your child because you so deserve to have your own.
It's true.
I couldn't love you anymore for saying that. I've never had anyone say that to me before. That kind of, you deserve to have this and I want to give it to you. To have a woman say she wants to carry your child. Holy fuck, guys. Like, that's the biggest fucking ask you could ever have, is for a woman to carry your child to birth. Like, it's just having an appreciation of what a woman goes through during birth, to know how much that meant to me. And I couldn't love you anymore, Joe. That was just, I'm kind of speechless, actually. Stupid topic. Move on.
All right.
Yeah, I know you said one, and then we got a surprise for two. And he's just been an awesome experience.
Can you imagine what a nightmare Chrissy would have been if she had not had a sibling close in age? Oh my God.
I'm not sure about that, given the type of person Chrissy is, how independent she is. And I don't think she ever relied on Sam for anything. And it's hard for me to say. They're young. I mean, she's 19, he's 17. Like I said, I know Brandon and Emma love each other deeply. They really do, brother. And I'm certain that Sam and Chrissy do too, even though they won't say it. I mean, the stages that they're in their life, it's not an important thing to them right now to talk about. But I think it's there. But yeah, having Sam come along couldn't have been a better thing to happen, to be honest with you. We don't call him a mistake.
No.
He was a surprise, because we had planned to, stop having kids. One was, we thought we'd have 3 at that point, and it was like, okay. But I'll never forget the look on your face when I came home and you had that pregnancy test and you were crying.
Yeah.
And you showed it to me and I couldn't believe it. And I was smiling and you wouldn't stop crying because you were like, I can't do this again. You just went through it with Chrissy and now you were 35. Oh my God. No, you were 37 then.
No, Sam. I was not. He's 17.
No, not 37. You were 29. I was 35.
34.
You were 34. Yeah, 34 or 35. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Can you believe the average age of a first-time mom now is 32?
I can, actually, because people are waiting. You know what? Yeah. The days of you had Emma when you were 19. That's other than up in Lindsay. I don't know where that happens a lot.
I didn't live in Lindsay.
No, you lived in small town though. So
yeah.
And unfortunately for you, that just meant you became a mom at 19. So you didn't have a single life, really.
No.
You were responsible from 19 on, and you have not had a break since then. So hats off to you for doing that.
You're like my hype, you know what? Man.
It reflects in your kids. You've done such a great job raising your kids. But I feel you got cheated out of a lot of stuff in life. And I sometimes feel that you feel that too.
Well, you've been around for almost as long as my kids have been here. So you deserve a lot of that credit too.
Yeah, but you're their mom. I'll be honest with you, there's differences, guys. Dads are dads, moms are moms. Moms have a special tie to their kids, just like dads have a special tie to their kids.
Yeah.
You can't have the tie to your kids that I have with mine. No. And I can't have the tie that you have. You are in touch with the kids at a different level than I am. And that bothers me sometimes because I want that. But I also have a good relationship with them that's good. And
so do you recognize that more now since we have kids that are yours?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, did you feel that before?
I did. I'll be honest. yeah, having your own kids, yes, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better or worse? I will not say, because each has its own love, beauty, magic, tribulations, trials, all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't have given up my life for anything. It ended up the way I wanted it. And I'm grateful for having the chance to experience it that way.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like parents who are willing to blend with an already existing family, or parents who want to adopt, are so special in a completely different way because they choose it. They willingly choose that relationship. Yep. Yeah.
It's not like it was just it's their reality all of a sudden. They chose to have it.
Like they didn't get the build up to it. Like,
how many times did you say, do you know what you're getting yourself into? Do you know what you're getting yourself? I remember you saying that so many times. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then we had Chrissy, and I'm like, holy fuck, I had no idea.
No.
You were like, this is what I was talking about. And yeah, you don't know. You can read all the fucking books you want. You can watch all the videos you want and talk to all the people you want. Nothing prepares you for children like childbirth and having it yourself, because you're thrown right into it. And by the way, when you have a child, if you've already done all this reading and all this shit, and you go in and you're expecting, the problem with that is you expect your birth to go a certain way, and it never does. It never does. And you're always at that shock after you forget everything you read after you're holding your fucking child for the first time. You've forgotten what all the books said to do and the videos said to do, and you're just panicked. You're overcome with emotion of love, hopefully, like I was when Chrissy was born, and they gave her to me to hold. And I walked out of I wasn't holding her. They had her in the incubator, and I pushed her out into the waiting room where both of our parents were waiting. And our kids were waiting. Brandon was the very first one to run up to look at his sister, his new little sister. And poor Joanne is strapped to the table, still in the operating room, because you had a C-section. And that opened my eyes, because you were absolutely right. That operating room, as soon as that baby came out of you, nobody cared about the baby. It was shuffled off, and the focus was on mom. Get mom ready and get her fixed and all that kind of stuff. And I feel you lost out with Chrissy on the early bonding from childbirth that you had with Brandon and Emma, and Sam too, because they were both C-sections.
That's why I'm so passionate about it now.
You're lucky that you got to experience both, so you could do. C-sections certainly have their space in the world.
Yeah.
Elective C-sections that's a debate. Right. So
we're getting off topic again.
Yeah, but we are. Anyway, yeah, we're going into too many. Sorry, I'm a blabber. So.
All right. Anyway. So do you have any nuggets of wisdom to impart on anyone watching before we leave this topic in the dust about blending a family? Do you have any nuggets for the person that's coming into the family?
My nuggets are eyes wide open. And try and be as understanding as you can to the experience. Don't be afraid of anything. You can get through anything in this life. Everybody can. You've got a lot of strength in you that you don't even realize you have until you need it. And I mean, parenting hit me kind of hard and fast, but having a spouse with the kids that were so well, adjusted to begin with really helped me. But have some patience. Patience is the big thing that I've learned being a dad in a blended family. I don't know. It's just, it depends on how deeply you want to have a relationship with the kids that you're blending with.
Which you should want that.
You would think so, but everybody's situation is different. I've known people that have blended two separate families, and they lived together for years, but as separate families.
Yeah,
like they never integrated. They never integrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know that experience. It's not like I didn't get involved as much with your kids and stuff, but I've known people who have, and that's how it worked for them. That's fine. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in the end, and they've gone separate ways. But I don't know that I could do that. There's two things I know that I could never do. I could never abandon my kids, ever. I would never give up my kids. I would fight till I die for custody of my kids, or the right to see them.
Oh, no, I just give them to you.
I can't understand what a person is going through and experiencing that would say to them that that's the right choice to make. Everybody's case is different. I'm not judging anybody, but I can't understand it for the life of me, because I made a decision when I joined your family that family was for me. And I always knew I would have a family. I always knew I would have my own family, whether it was somebody else's kids or not, they would be my family.
What's the second thing?
I don't remember. How bad is that? 56 years old, I can't fucking remember shit. Yeah, be patient, be accepting of who, that's the other thing. Yeah, be accepting of who these kids are. These are new people in your life. Have an open mind. They're people. They're individuals with their own character, their own personalities, and they need you to guide them through life. And to help mold them. It doesn't mean dictate to them. It means help them understand how the world works and how they can navigate their way through it with your help. Right?
So smart.
Thanks, honey.
Well, I'm glad I clicked. We didn't even swipe that back then. It was just like literally.
There was no smartphones back then. We were dial up on a 14-inch screen. Oh God, it was funny those days.
But I'm glad I went there, and I'm glad that I forced myself into your DMs.
The thing that's nice about these kinds of talks and stuff is it just brings us back there. You know, you get lost in the weeds of life.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a long-term relationship, right? And sometimes you lose sight of how far you've gone, how high you've climbed.
Yeah.
With your partner. And I love to be able to reflect back on that and say, holy shit. It builds me up. I
and no matter how long you've been in a relationship with someone, I think it's important when you add, well, if you add kids or if you don't, to do that, to take like some time every once in a while and say, holy shit, look what we've accomplished. Look where we are. Look how far we've come.
Yeah, look what we've accomplished. And look
all of the hard work, because it's all fucking hard work.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a whole other conversation there.
All right.
What kind of workload can I expect from being a parent? There's a question. That's like that guy at that Christmas party we were at when I was talking about the kids in the minivan and how the food was ground into the carpet. And he looks at me and goes, "You let your kids eat in the car?" And I looked at him, and all the parents that were around us in the circle are like, if you have kids, yeah, you let them eat in the car.
Yeah, if you want to go anywhere.
If you want to be able to go anywhere, yeah, they get a cookie in the car. Yeah. He just couldn't, he wasn't a parent, obviously, but holy shit, that made me laugh. You let your kids eat in the car?
Oh, all right, on that note, blended families.
Honey. Blended families. Good luck to you. We're here for advice. Post a comment on MamaSoup if you want to. I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, honestly, we should get you on MamaSoup. I know it's for moms, but we should give you your own like tag.
I should be Papa Soup
for advice.
Ask Papa Soup. Yeah, for sure. I'm down with that
perspective.
Yeah.
Huh, maybe we'll do that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too, babe.